I ask you about redistricting in California? Yeah. It's moving full steam ahead in Texas, and in response, things are moving along in California. Republicans have filed a legal challenge in California, but it could very well make it to voters to sign off on if this moves ahead in November. At the very same time, the governor has taken it upon himself to transform his social media kind of as part of this into very specifically spending all of its time mocking Donald Trump by mimicking his social media style. I mean, you can just see some of the posts of the memes and the things that have been put out. What is I'm seeing a lot of Democrats applauding this approach by Gavin Newsom, but is this all more about his presidential aspirations than anything else? And if it is, are you okay with it?
It's a teaching moment. He's mirroring and reflecting what Donald Trump is doing. So to ask the country, is this who you want as your leader? Somebody who debases us and reduces the dialogue. And yes, I mean, it's silly, it's cheeky, but it also is going on offense. And something Gavin Newsom has done in the cases he's brought on immigration and the redistricting move that he's doing to level the playing field against the crooked way that Texas is trying to fix their maps, it's making Donald Trump react.
I'm not voting for no nice guys. I'm voting for the first fucking killer that I see. I don't want fighters anymore. Fighters lose. I want killers. I want the political movement to disenfranchise black people, to harass them, to have people jumping out of unmarked vehicles, snatching people off the street, the people that erase Jackie Robinson, the people that make black kids drink dirty water. I want it gone. I don't know if that's Gavin Newsom. I've talked about the fact that, you see Gavin Newsom on Fox, you see Gavin Newsom in different places, and he's impressive when he's up against someone, when he has an enemy to debate with. He's impressive. I'll say this, though. He's a standard corporate do-nothing type of, he is. He's a, and I wouldn't say do nothing.
Yeah.
But he's a standard corporate Democrat, and I am so fucking sick of those guys. Like, watching Cory Booker and Hakeem Jeffries cosplay as NWA, none of that fucking shit moves me.
Boy. So we got to talk about Trump deranged California Democrat Governor Gavin Newsom, who is making headlines because he's decided that an effective 2028 campaign strategy is to try to be like President Trump, right? You can't beat him, then you got to beat him, right? And that is what Gavin Newsom's social media team has come up with as a response to President Trump. And let's just say that there are a lot of people who are not feeling this, right? They're not feeling Gavin Newsom trying to pretend to be Trump in a response to President Trump, opposing President Trump. And I want to talk about it.
Over a week now, California Governor Gavin Newsom has been posting in the style of President Donald Trump. And he's getting a lot of admiration for it. So he's basically engaging in this trolling campaign, and he's been very successful with it on X. Many of those posts have actually racked up tens of thousands of likes. He wrote the following recently. So Governor Newsom press office on X, that's the account that we're talking about, began posting in the same type of tone that you would expect from Donald Trump, all caps. You get the picture, let's take a look. Again, this is all caps. Donald Trump, if you do not stand down, we will be forced to lead an effort to redraw the maps in California to offset the rigging of maps in red states. So obviously this has to do with the redistricting attempts in Texas, which will probably go through. But if the other states call off their redistricting efforts, we will do the same. Thank you for your attention to this matter with an exclamation mark. Okay, so he's making fun of Trump when he posts in all caps. As you can see, that got 96,000 likes. All right, let's go to the next one. In the days since, the account has continued to write in Trump-inspired ways. Final warning, Donald Trump, maybe the most important warning in history. Stop cheating or California will redraw the maps. And guess who will announce it this week? Gavin Newsom, many say the most loved. I can't repeat that. Do you want to read it?
Yeah, the most loved and handsome governor
and a very powerful team. Don't make us do it. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
The saddest thing about this is Gavin and his team of beta males. 2016 called. They want your, lingo. They want their lingo back. But okay, who sit down to pee, actually think they're trolling the president, and actually think this is making Gavin look like a badass. You got to feel for those California boys. I don't know if it's the weed or the gender neutral bathrooms, but something is wrong over there. To which Newsom's press office responded with, Tommy's account is basically Yelp for toilets now. Okay, fine, that is pretty funny.
Okay, so no, I'm definitely in favor of it.
I knew it, I know. But Jay.
No.
If this was happening, if this was coupled with a politician of substance who really is killing it with his leadership, okay, I'm totally in favor of it. But what this does is it masks his failures. I'm worried about, I just want someone that I can back, someone I can support, someone who actually wants to change things for the better in this country. And Gavin Newsom ain't it. I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah, he ain't it, right? He ain't it, okay? And I think there are people who can see through this and there are people who can't see through this. Because you have people out here who are supporting it, like, for example, Charlemagne the Devil. He's supporting it, right? He's basically claiming that this is what he's always wanted from Democrats, which is to, act like Trump. Take a look.
Gavin Newsom for the past week and some change has been doing what I've wanted a Democrat to do for a long time. Okay, see, Michelle Obama once said, when they go low, we go high. And your Uncle Charlotte has never agreed with that. Okay, when they go low, either you ignore them and mind your business, stay doing the work, or when they go low, you go to hell. Okay, and Gavin Newsom over the last week and a half has been going to hell with the Trump administration. Not even really going to hell, just matching energy, and I like it.
Since Donald Trump returned to office, his feud with California Governor Gavin Newsom has intensified from social media through the courts. Today, Newsom, like a true internet troll, took directly to social media and started speaking Trump's language. He blasted out the following in Trumpian all caps. When Speaker Little Man Johnson is standing in the unemployment line, he can thank Donald Taco J. Trump. Trump missed a simple deadline, something he has often done with his many failed businesses. Now, California will fire him with new, more beautiful maps. Highly anticipated, historic press conference with your favorite Governor Gavin Christopher Newsom. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Somebody has been reading the 48 Laws of Power, okay? Law 44, disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. And people like Dana Perino on Fox are absolutely infuriated. Would you like to hear what she had to say about Gavin's tweets? Let's listen.
For the last week, Gavin Newsom, why am I giving him advice? You have to stop it with the Twitter thing. I don't know where his wife is. If I were his wife, I would say, "What? You are making a fool of yourself. Stop it. Do not let your staff tweet. And if you're doing it yourself, put the phone away and start over." And if he's got a big job as governor of California, but if he wants an even bigger job, he has to be a little bit more serious.
Dana, have you ever told the 45th and 47th president of the United States of America to stop? Have you ever told the 45th and 47th president of the United States of America that they need to be more serious? Have you ever asked where the 45th and 47th president of the United States of America's wife, First Lady Melania Trump, is? You do realize Governor Gavin Newsom is biting Donald Trump's whole flow, word for word, bar for bar. It is a deliberate imitation of Donald Trump's nut-ass social media style.
Yeah, so I really don't like the fact that Dana Perino openly got triggered by Gavin Newsom doing that, because I'm personally not triggered, right? I personally don't care. I just think it's one of those things that show how desperate Democrats are and the fact that they don't have a real identity, okay? And no matter what they do, they continue to tank as a party, right? Their party is not doing good. And I think this is why Joe Scarborough of MSNBC, who is a Trump deranged individual, he actually turned on the Democrats and Gavin Newsom, and he went off on Gavin Newsom over this because he's kind of right in the sense that, again, this has nothing to do with substance. It has nothing to do with policy. It has nothing to do with the direction of the Democrat Party or fixing the Democrat Party or anything at all having to do with what the American people actually care about. Take a look.
See, the Democrats are trying to find their footing, and it's quite embarrassing, actually. I mean, Gavin Newsom, I mean, have you seen what he's doing online? And it's like, just take a deep breath. Yeah. Don't try to turn the ship 180 degrees and one. They don't know what to do. I have a good idea. Instead of trying to school Donald Trump, talk into the camera about affordability. Talk about making groceries more affordable. Talk about what you're going to do for housing. Talk about what you're going to do for energy prices that continue to go up. We heard the congressman yesterday talk about energy prices skyrocketing in New Jersey. Don't try. As I've been saying, Donald Trump's not on the ballot in 26. He's not on the ballot in 28. Why try to drag Muhammad Ali in the ring when you got Chuck Wepner standing right in front of you? And Wepner's a bleeder. He's a bleeder. You want him. So why are you going, I'm going after Donald? No, you're not. You're not running against Donald Trump. Go after Tweedledee or Tweedledum. Chuck Wepner, a bleeder. Go after him. No disrespect to Chuck Wepner.
Yeah, all due respect, of course.
He kind of held in there longer with
Inspired Rocky, many people say.
I think he did, yeah.
I mean, this is the attention economy that Governor Newsom understands. You got to get attention somehow, so he's on social media doing parodies of Donald Trump, and he's trying his best to kind of grab some attention. I think he's looking beyond 2026.
Breathing into a paper bag. I'm trying to calm down a little bit, but John just quoted a remarkable stat out of the New York Times that in the 30 states where they track voter registration over the past 4 years, Democrats have lost to Republicans in every single state. Why?
So this is the $24 million question, right? Why are Democrats not... why are the polls bad? Why are they not breaking through? And I think it's a couple things. I think one is the people who are breaking through are brave, right? They talk like humans. They make the case, And again, it's like Pritzker's chief of staff told me. It's not necessarily left versus center. It's fight versus cave. And the people who fight get support. And the people who cave or are mealy-mouthed or are, very sort of corporatist-y, that crew, the crew that's afraid, cannot break through, does not appeal to voters. The question is, it's only going to be for people who really feel authentic, right?
Sherrod's never been afraid of his shadow.
Exactly.
He's always spoken his mind.
Chris Murphy, Sherrod Brown, Mondami, these people, AOC, they're not all exactly the same politically, but they are the same in the fact that they're brave and they break through.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Now, the reason why Democrats can't talk about affordability, the reason why they can't talk about crime, they can't talk about illegal immigration, they can't talk about any substantive issue is because for the last 4 years, they've been a complete and total disaster on those issues, especially California, especially Gavin Newsom. That's why he's doing this. He's doing this because he can't run on his own record, right? If California is so great, if he's doing such a great job in California, he shouldn't be talking about anything except we should be making America like California, right? But he can't come out here and say, let's make America California without turning off 3/4 of the country instantly, right? Again, think about that. Think about that. Gavin Newsom cannot run a campaign on making America California. He can't do that. That's how bad his state is. But you have somebody like Ron DeSantis, for example. He can run on making America Florida, and that would be a competitive campaign, right? That would be competitive. I think a lot of people say, not too bad out there in Florida, right? There are some issues here and there, but still not too bad, okay? Definitely a lot better than California and what they're currently dealing with, okay? Which is a crisis. You have a mass exodus of businesses from the state due to the out-of-control crime and the anti-business policies of the Democrats led by Gavin Newsom. In fact, Gavin Newsom was completely and totally embarrassed today by Bed Bath & Beyond that announced that they're not opening up any of their retail stores in California. And the reason why is because California is a terrible place to try to operate a business. Take a look.
Bed Bath & Beyond is making a comeback 2 years after filing for bankruptcy, opening a new rebranded store in Nashville this month. But the company isn't open for business everywhere. Marcus Lemonis is the executive chairman of the company and host of The Fixer on Fox Business. He was sitting here yesterday. He's there today. Yeah. You got a huge announcement. Okay, you're not going to open stores in a certain locale, Marcus, and I want to know why.
We've made the decision to, as we start to open up stores again, we're planning on opening 300 over the next 24 months. We've made the decision to not open in the state of California. And while it was a big place for business in the past for Bed Bath & Beyond, when you look at the complexity, both on the real estate side, on the regulatory side, both on the product and the employee side, it's just too cost prohibitive to do it. And at some point, some business needs to take a stand and remind the state of California that while they keep reminding us that they're the fourth largest economy in the world, that's going to dissipate over time. So we are just going to serve those customers with our online business.
Okay, so just to be clear, Bed Bath & Beyond had a big presence in California, and it sounds like in an ideal world, you'd love to have a big presence in California. What has to change, Marcus, for you to change this big decision you've made?
Well, I think the big question is, what does it cost to actually do business in California? And in other businesses that I'm involved in, the process to actually operate the business is so cost prohibitive, from insurance to disclosures on packaging to the way we have to handle all the employee issues. And a lot of people have said to me, oh, you don't want to pay employees. We pay employees plenty and we want to pay them more, but we don't want the government telling us how to run our business. And to do business in California, quite frankly, for my shareholders and my customers, I don't think we can deliver a good product and make a profit, which is the idea behind business.
Yeah, and this is why Gavin Newsom has to distract from the failure of his state by tweeting like Trump, acting like Trump, trying to mock Trump. That's all fine and good, right? Again, I'm not triggered by it. I just think that if this is what rallies the Democrats, right? If this is what's going to help Gavin Newsom win, then the Democrat Party is doomed. They're absolutely doomed, right? They're absolutely doomed. Because if Gavin Newsom is the guy that Democrats are going to go with because he is now, fighting Trump the way that they like by talking like Trump, if they're going to go with him, cool, great, right? I'm just as happy if they go with Gavin Newsom as I would be if they went with AOC, right? Or Jasmine Crockett. He's just as bad as them because he actually has the worst record out of anybody that could run, right? Out of all the possible Democrat candidates, Gavin Newsom has the worst record, okay? He has an anti-business, anti-law enforcement, soft on crime, anti-common sense record in California that I just don't believe can win at the general election level, right? I just don't think in a national election, Gavin Newsom is going to be able to win with the terrible, terrible, terrible record that he has as governor of California. So if Democrats want to make Gavin Newsom their king, okay, in response to Trump, great, right? Great. It seems as if that may or may not be what happens.
Yeah, I think it absolutely has been working in terms of generating attention, which is what he's trying to do, right? I mean, take a look here. Let's take a look right at the @GovPress office followers on X. That's, of course, where you get those sort of the account where Newsom posts those Trump-style mocking types of tweets. Get this. That account, get this, up 450% in terms of the number of followers since mid-June. And it's not just on Twitter, X, where Newsom is gaining. Even on TikTok and Instagram, his followers are up over 1 million since January alone. My goodness gracious. And more than that, Laura, more than that, what about Google? What about those Google searches for him? Get this, daily Google searches for Gavin Newsom up like a rocket. What are we talking about? Since June 1, up 1,300%. Compared to August 1st, look at that, up 500%. So the bottom line is, in politics, especially if you're thinking of entering in 2028, it's all about generating attention. And so far, Gavin Newsom has done a good job at generating attention.
Yeah, who can be the loudest, most anti-Trump, deranged social media star, right? That is what the Democrat primary is going to come down to. And who knows? Maybe that is the only way you can win a Democrat primary at this point, right? Socialism and F Trump. That seems to be the winning formula, right? It seems to be the winning formula out there in New York, right? New York City. So, again, this is how the Democrat Party is evolving, where what it takes to win a Democrat primary, again, is just mask off socialism and just saying mean things about Trump, right? Being as Trump deranged as possible. Fascinating, fascinating.
The Democrats want it.
Do Democrats want it? Okay, do Democrats want it? This, I think, is the trend line that I think says it all. Democrats want their leaders to what? Try to stop the GOP or work with the GOP? You go back to 2017, you see here, work with the GOP took the cake at 74% compared to just 23% who said to try and stop the GOP. But now I'm going to come over to your side of the screen, Laura. Look at 2025. I'm coming as close as I can. 57% say they want the Democratic leaders to try and stop the GOP compared to just 42% who say they want them to work with the GOP. That is a major shift. What are we talking about here? Some quick math up here is 34% rise in terms of the percentage of Democrats who want their leaders to try and stop the GOP. So no wonder Gavin Newsom, he's looking at this polling. He's saying, I can generate attention. This is where the Democratic base is. And right now he seems to be following the Democratic base.
Yeah, the Democratic base has become a group of individuals who care nothing about policy except for being anti-Trump, right? They essentially define themselves in their opposition to Trump. And that is what Gavin Newsom is reflecting with his Trump-style tweets, right? Which is the fact that, again, the Democrat Party doesn't stand for anything except being against Trump. That's where they're at this point.
Why? For 2028?
For 2028, that is exactly why. And I think the question is it working? Is it working? Well, let's take a look at the betting markets. I think this gives away so much of it. Okay, the chance of being the 2028 Democratic nominee according to the prediction markets. Look at where we were on June 1st. We basically had a clown car for first. Newsom, AOC, Buttigieg, 11%, 10%, 8%. But look at where we are now. Look at this. Look who's jumped up all the way up to 24% chance, about a 1 in 4 chance of getting the nomination. Gavin Newsom. AOC staying pretty steady at 13%. And then, of course, we have Pete Buttigieg, who has stayed absolutely steady at 8%. So at least at this particular point, the prediction markets are saying, yes, this strategy is paying off. Of course, the key question is, will this actually work when you're trying to actually, votes are being cast and counted? And more than that, will it work for a general electorate? Well, it's early days yet. We'll have to wait and see. But so far, Gavin Newsom has done a pretty gosh darn good job of generating attention for himself and a pretty gosh darn good shot of getting people on television.
Yeah, so again, this may work for the Democrat Party, right, for a Democrat primary, but that doesn't mean it's going to work in a general election. I really do believe that if this is what Democrats are going to go with, just screw Trump and mask off socialism, because that is what Gavin Newsom is. Gavin Newsom is a socialist, right? I mean, look how he's run his state, okay? The dude was woke before woke was cool, right? So again, he's far left. He's super far left, right? And, being far left and anti-Trump seems to be the winning formula for the Democrat Party in the primary. But I think in a general election, that is going to be a recipe for disaster. And if Democrats want to make Newsom their king, right? If they want to make the governor of one of the worst run states in the union, if you want to make him your guy, okay? If you want to run on that record, fine, right? Fine, be my guest. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.